So it is nice to start with video. I suggest some videos here, and there are many more, to get an idea of what the whole thing is about, and then they can easily relate to the details of the lectures, but they also get motivated, and I have here the links that they can be used. For the hands-on, we use what the whole day was about, MATRAD, the open source treatment planning tool developed by DKFZ, and you have heard plenty today. So the school children can see for themselves in a very intuitive way what are the differences using photons, protons, and carbon ions. And of course, we use a much simplified version, as Nicholas discussed. And one thing I stress always for all the master classes is to give them the idea that this couple of hours sessions gives them a taste. Yeah, it's not supposed to be teaching them, and not to give them the idea that clicking a couple of buttons you get a PhD. Yeah, I mean, we come out with the results of strangeness enhancement, for example, in ALICE, and I explain them that this is the work of a PhD for 4 years. It's not a couple of buttons and you get the result, okay? So now they are really enjoying the virtual visits and the common video conference, and we try during the video conference to join with the GSI historic room where carbon ion therapy was pioneered, or to see the CNAO accelerators, and you have here moderators from Medostrom, from GSI, from CNAO, and I would like to highlight that Ugo Amaldi, one of the fathers of carbon ion therapy in Italy and in Europe, joined and somehow explained his path and his career. So we try to support female participation, and we start typically 11th of February. We're celebrating the Women's Day in Science, but also 8th of March. And we give role models. We try to have female tutors and assistants. And you see, I like always to highlight the participation of Algeria that is really overwhelming every year. So there is plenty of material in the web pages for any institute that wants to participate, and actually in several languages and recordings. And one should not be afraid to start with such projects, because we also have training sessions in addition to online material that one can hear. And you know very well, half of the audience is here, assistants and tutors. Just a couple of words to say that the first pilot was locally at GSI with a class actually of young children, not even high school, below gymnasium, from Crete, that they visited GSI, and Nicholas was one of the tutors. And after an international pilot where CERN, GSI, and DKFZ joined, it was approved by the steering committee of MasterClasses, and immediately after, the web pages were set up by 3 students from UNSA that were visiting CERN for 6 months, supported by the 3 Physicists Foundation, and they also participate in the CERN Open Days. So the first particle therapy masterclass within the International Masterclass program was in 2020, 2nd of March in Mexico. As you see, it was a huge success, but this is exactly when COVID hit, and we canceled the rest of the program. But then we went online, fully online in 2021, which gave us the opportunity to reach immediately 1,500 students from 20 countries and 37 institutes. Actually, you see in 6 sessions. So the numbers remain more or less the same, although new countries join. And this shows the interest, I think, of not only the students, but the motivation of the tutors. Without the tutors, we cannot do anything. And I have to stress that this is voluntary work. And you see here how it changes, and we covered in 2023 from Japan to Latin America, Africa, etc. In 24, we had 47 institutes, and half of them, they reported statistics, and we are already at 1,567 students. So then you can extrapolate for 47 institutes, half and half, 50-50 male, female. And several institutes do 2 sessions, one in person and one hybrid. So in Greece, it becomes a national event. Through the Library of Varia, it is disseminated, and school children have the chance from remote places to join. And this is very surprising because it's on Saturday, and there are 275 school children that join at 9 o'clock for a whole day, stuck in front of their laptops. And here I want to thank all the AUTH students that really make this a big event. Now, we took it a step further, and we organized a full week MasterClass school inspired by the particle therapy MasterClass format within the HITRI+ EU-funded project, of course, with advanced material addressing university students and up to professionals. And there the lectures were given by professionals. I have there the link, and you can see the presentations and the recordings. So with the full week course that is addressed to university students and early stage researchers, we try to train future tutors that they will perform the particle therapy masterclasses in their institutes. And I hear from the young generation that follows all the social media that many of the participants of these schools are actually active now, and they continue relevant studies or they perform master classes. So, as I said, one of the aims is to draw the attention to multidisciplinary field and the open fields like accelerator physics, medical physics, biophysics, where actually there can be a lack of specialized personnel. And of course, to highlight that the development of technology that is there for the sake of fundamental research and expertise, of course, of research laboratories is really crucial. Here I have a slide to just show also the power of networks, because HITRI+ is also about networking, and you heard during the symposium on Friday and Saturday how important networking is. Just announcing the first school through the IPOG mail lists resulted in a participation almost one-to-one similar with the international master classes. We had 1,050 registrants, 600 connected at any given time around the world, and you are going to hear more from the presentation of Nicolas Samut. Now, for me, a very important thing is also the motivation, the enthusiasm, the dedication, the engagement of the core team that helps me every year. You see here faces and that you recognize. And also, I try to put where they are motivated by this kind of events. They find their ways to different institutes following expert studies. You see here DKFZ, CERN, etc. And we very much hope that they will come back in the area where we can have a facility here in the area. Of course, we also run surveys where they show positive results. And I want to show the new faces. And I think overall, I can name at least 30 students that helped with the core team. Yeah, this is not the ones that they organize their local sessions. I'm sure that if I ask the Flavia, for example, she has another cascade of students that are related to her institute. And this is the case for every institute. So the main message, one of the main messages, is that we need fundamental research. Yeah. the same way, to get the fruit, you need the tree. You cannot just go and pick up apples without having the tree with the root, trunk, and branches. So the equivalent of that is fundamental research. So, and one other, of course, aim is to demonstrate a return to society from investments in fundamental research. So doing that, we attract high school students to STEM, cultivate confidence with the hands-on. I think this is very important. The school children go back home and they have the feeling, I can do it. It's not these holy monsters that they get the Nobel Prizes. I am one of them and I can do it. We support female participation. We create groups of university assistants that they learn better in order to teach. And I think this you can tell me yourself. We enhance public awareness on the benefits from fundamental research, and we prepare future generations aware of the importance of fundamental research. And personally, I think that a science-educated generation, future generation, is crucial for shaping the future of any country. Scientific thinking based on data, okay? And rational thinking to try to protect ourselves from false information and propaganda or whatever we find around the corner. Now, just to highlight, we have seen this several times these days. There is this proposal for a facility now, Southeast Europe, dedicated 50% to research and 50% to therapy. You have seen these days the printed copies of the CERN yellow report, and we have also discussed that the first part of this facility, as well as of the facility proposed for the Baltic countries, focusing on helium, is a linear accelerator that several students of AUTH or Sarajevo or Montenegro, they are working on that. That can be a standalone project, and with alpha particles, one can produce astatine that can be used for cancer therapy internally. And actually, I was just informed today that there was an approval of a huge project from EU. We had also applied. We got 14 out of 15, but unfortunately, we were in the reserve list. So here is just the cover of the new CERN yellow report that you saw also around the hard copies these days. And with that, I would like to pass the floor to Nermine to actually show us that all the things I tell you is not theory, but there are some actual people behind pushing and hopefully all these dream projects, they will materialize thanks to the enthusiasm and the motivation of the new generation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Do we have any questions? So maybe just a quick comment from me. Indeed, the work that you're doing is precious for us because I wish I knew earlier about particle therapy master classes and all the things that you told us and we can do. And I think it's a very good advertisement for all of you to just say around what you did today, what the particle therapy master classes are about, and especially for the university students. And is this a good time to ask when the next particle therapy master class is going to take place?
Yeah, I was waiting for you to finish this symposium and then tell you so that you don't get scared. There are already...
Meaning you can go upstairs now. No, answer the
11th of February for sure is in, but there are a couple of days booked also. There are the first two circulars already circulating out. And when we take a breath out of this happening, then we can go back to the front line about it.